what are knowledge graphs? So this is our take. Well, knowledge graphs, considering what are knowledge graphs, opens the door to the question, well, what is knowledge? For which there's not a lot of agreement, philosophically or biologically. What exactly knowledge is something people debate. There's a lot less disagreement on what knowledge graphs are. But our take, very simply put, is knowledge graphs are a collection of facts about some domain of interest like pharmacology, biology, it could be banking, law, physical systems, and so on. But not just the facts, but the rules that govern how you can use those facts to give scope to the validity of that knowledge or to help you derive new knowledge based on what you know. So our goal with knowledge graphs is to largely store the knowledge and the facts that govern them, but in such a way that's easy to retrieve the knowledge, to manage and maintain that knowledge as it grows over time, as truth changes. Example of a truth changing was the email I had for this conference presentation was that it started at 3 p.m. I found out a couple hours before it was now 2 p.m. So truth has to be maintained. So getting into this knowledge graph or knowledge representation, the knowledge graphs come from the field of knowledge engineering, where after decades of research and experimentation, they arrived at graphs as being the most versatile structure for representing human knowledge in the way closely resembling how we conceptualize it or how we think about knowledge, where you have you have information connected arbitrarily as per the relationships in this unconstrained structure called a graph. This is in contrast to working with relational databases where you're confined to working with rows and columns, which is maybe not so close to how we think about things, or not always. Graphs come from the field of mathematics, so there is this logical, mathematical underpinnings to them that make them really conducive to working with information systems. They can work with this structure very efficiently. We want to do more than just represent knowledge, though. We want to be able to process it, to put it to work, to take two pieces of information, two things we know, and conclude a third thing from it. We want to extract knowledge, to find knowledge based on what we know already, based on what we've stored. But we also want to be able to aggregate knowledge. We heard about that a little bit from Joe. So if I have a knowledge graph that I've developed in my department, and you have a knowledge graph you've developed in your department, I may want to integrate those together and do this across other units, business units, across our whole enterprise, maybe across the whole corporation around the world, and pull all this knowledge together into this super kind of mind to then work on more and more complex and broader problems.